And so I made this video because I was like, okay, this is a common thing. A lot of spouses are either overqualified or underqualified, or they're not going to be there long enough, or they got to change careers every time they move. So what are some recurring threads that you can pull on to say what would be useful? And one of them is remote work. And so the virtual assistant idea is phenomenal because it's remote and you don't have to change careers when you move. And so that's kind of, the reason that we're doing this, right? Because I, as a vet, can't speak to what spouses struggle with because apparently I get a lot of hate for it. But also, man, what good timing. Like 10 years ago, being a virtual assistant was not nearly the buzzword it is now, right? Like it is a super common, I talk about them all the time. I've had virtual assistant from the Philippines. I've had 3 virtual assistant cold callers from Egypt. I've had but then I've also worked with remote people in the US and I've got an actual assistant in my office. And they're game changers as far as productivity, but yeah, what a crazy, what a good timing to start a business because you got in on it and then now it's super buzzword.
Totally accidental. Had no idea.
Yeah.
So you mean I can make money for my services? Cool.
So you started out actually being a virtual assistant, right? Like you were just doing, or you started the business. Walk me through how all this is transpired.
Yeah. So I was in corporate finance at a hospital system. Great job, but just, watching paint dry, I felt like. So when I quit, my husband at the time, we had just got married. He was like, "Oh, this is a catch. My wife just quit her job."
Perfect.
and he's like, "All right, you got 5 months to figure it out." It took me 3. And he said, and I learned the word entrepreneur for the first time. Again, you got to think 12 years ago that people were, but not in my age group, 24 years old. We weren't starting businesses right and left and putting courses out there and whatever everything that's going on now. So I learned you can get paid for something that without being hired by a company, the traditional route. We're always taught to go to college, get a good job and just be a corporate soldier. So that kind of twisted things on its head. And I thought, what can I do for people? And at the same time, a friend of mine posted on Facebook that they were looking for a social media manager to do a crowdfunding campaign for a documentary they were doing on student loan debt. And I thought, well, I have never done this, but let's just apply and see what happens. And I did that, and we successfully raised $75,000. And I just taught myself as I went. Social media is not a foreign language to most of us. So I can do this. And it was very successful. So just having the mindset to be like, let me try this and see where it goes has completely opened the door to where I am today. So about 4 years later is when I kept getting knocks on my door from military spouses saying, "How do I do what you do? You're traveling the world. You're earning a great income. You have time freedom." And that's what created the certification program.